Shall I start, madam?
Just a minute, just a minute.
Okay.
Give him a single minute. सुरू करायचं विनय.
लाईव्ह सुरू होतं बघू 2 मिनिटं. पवार सर चेक करा लाईव्ह यायला का?
हा
पवार सर
येते का?
हा
काय म्हणते विनय सर?
ओके स्टार्ट.
Jai Bhim, good morning. I offer deepest tribute and my obeisance to Lord Buddha and Bharat Ratna Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar before proceeding ahead in this webinar. Thank you for joining us today's national webinar. This is 11th webinar in series. I am Dr. Swati Kekre, working as assistant professor, privileged to welcome you all for this national level webinar series organized by People Education Societies, Mumbai, Millian College of Arts, Aurangabad. People Education Society was founded by Bharat Ratna Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar at Mumbai. Millian College of Arts is one of the oldest institutes in the region working under its wing. No individual or institute can deny the importance of accreditation in today's world where many unrecognized and mediocre institutes have come up providing a subpar education to students around the globe. Both employers and students prefer accredited colleges and universities as they have international recognition and also offer an education which is on par with global standards. Accredited colleges provide students an enabling interactive environment and other impulse facilities which enhance their learning experience and intellectual capacity. But getting good accreditation is the toughest task in today's time. With the objective of improving and enhancing educational standards, with the help of accreditation, topic of today's webinar is Naac's assessment and accreditation process in overview. We are fortunate to have today's keynote speaker, an elite expert of accreditation, Honorable Dr. Devender Kaude sir, Deputy Advisor, National Assessment and Accreditation Council, Bengaluru, Karnataka. Today's session chair is an eminent IQAC expert, Honorable Professor Sachin Deshmukh sir, Professor, Department of Computer Science and Director, IQAC and Innovation, Incubation and Linkages, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad. Now, may I request to Dr. Vaishali Pradhan Madam, Principal and Organizer, Millian College of Arts, Aurangabad, to deliver welcome address. Principal Dr. Vaishali Pradhan Madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for that. Good morning to one and all. I pay my humble tributes to Bharat Ratna Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. On behalf of People's Education Societies, Mumbai's Millian College of Arts, Aurangabad, I avail this opportunity to welcome one and all. This institution was founded and established by Bharat Ratna Bodhisattva Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar in 1940. Siddharth College was the first college of this institution, and in 1950, he founded and established Milind Mahavidyalaya. Great men dedicate their lives to eradicate the social evils in the society, and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar did remove the evil. He is our emancipator, revolutionary, social reformer of the crowds of the oppressed and suppressed people of this country who were treated as untouchables. These marginalized people were denied right to education and all basic needs of life. This powerful and inspiring slogan, which became popular and assumed significance, educate, organize, and educate, played a vital role in his movement and are still inspiring for us. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar was touched by the poverty, illiteracy, and backwardness of the people of this region, and therefore Aurangabad was chosen as the center to disseminate higher education. The foundation stone of Mellon College building was led by Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the first president of India. To highlight, let me put it on record that on the foundation stone, Dr. Baba Sahib never put his name, and the foundation stone is only with the name of the first president of India, Rajendra Prasad. This was his greatness. Milan Mahavidyalaya is the symbol of intellectual honesty and integrity, and a model of the ideal relationship between the teacher and the taught. The aims and objectives of this society is, I quote, is not merely to give education, but to give education in such a manner as to promote intellectual, moral, and social democracy. This is what a well-wisher of India must promote, unquote. The People's Education Society derives its inspiration from the teaching and philosophic ideas of Lord Buddha. It believes in the principles of social justice and equality. Its primary aim is to promote higher education among the backward and the poor people in general, and the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes and other backward classes in particular. This year, this institution has completed 75 years, and we are celebrating its platinum jubilee. This series of webinars is a tribute to the symbol of knowledge, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. In the series of webinars, 11 webinars organized, and today is the 12th. I'm happy that we could make it a success. The topics that were covered under these webinars were COVID-19 and migration, then a special lecture series on the day of the foundation day of the society, that is 8 July. And to deliver the lecture, we had the great Marathi literary poet and writer, Dr. Yashwant Manohar and Professor Indira Athole in the chair. Then we had दलित कवितेचा इतिहास, वैश्विक महामारी कोविड-19 का भाषा तथा साहित्य पर प्रभाव, Buddhism and value education, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's perspective on modern Indian society, reevaluating the protest literature, role of the government in the pandemic situation to empower the depressed classes, international relations of India with neighboring countries, stress management during COVID-19 and lockdown, COVID-19 and climatic changes. Today is the last webinar series. Today is the last webinar in this series, and we are fortunate that we have organized it on Naac's assessment and accreditation process and overview. And to do the honors and to take part in the deliberations, we have with us Dr. Devendra Kaure, an erudite scholar. And to chair this session, we have Professor Sachin Deshmukh, intelligent and dynamic in the Department of Computer Science, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University. These two stalwarts will definitely lead us to an easy way of getting things done in the process of Naac. I welcome them. Last but not the least, since it's the last webinar of the series, I thank the participants, all the resource persons, all the technical team, my staff and students for making this a grand success. Thank you, Jai.
Thank you, madam. I would like to request Dr. Gauri sir to introduce the eminent speakers of today's webinar. Dr. Gauri sir.
Thank you very much indeed, madam. I'm feeling privileged to introduce such an eminent personalities on the occasion of one-day national webinar on Naac's assessment and accreditation process and overview. The distinguished guests not only hold the greater positions in academics, but also work as the guiding force. They are the lighthouse for the society. Today, we have with us Dr. Devender Kaude sir, who is presently working as a deputy advisor Naac, Bengaluru. He is working there since January 2017. He has shouldered the responsibility as a influential joint secretary, University Grants Commission, UGC, New Delhi. He not only held the position as a director, Department of Management Science and Research, DMSR, GS College Nagpur, but also worked as an influential international reviewer with quality assurance team for institutional review of the Southeastern University of Sri Lanka, Oluville, Sri Lanka. Multifaceted, Honorable Dr. Devender Kaude sir is basically a faculty of commerce and management with a teaching experience of 16 years and administrative experience of 14 long years. He is a perfect blend of academic and administration. He is also a supervisor for PhD with RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur. He was the genius member of core working group which designed, revised, and accreditation framework for assessment and accreditation process of NAC. He is a key figure in policy framing for assessment and accreditation process of NAC on need and time with an expertise to organization. Sir is a harmonious enthusiast who is coordinating NAC help desk in answering the queries of the stakeholders related with the quality in higher education and NAC's assessment and accreditation process. He has successfully coordinated in framework of university manual assessment and accreditation process of NAC. He is a detail-oriented process owner of student satisfaction survey tool adopted by NAC for its assessment and accreditation process. Able leadership qualities brought him the opportunity of coordinating accreditation exercise of about 150 higher educational institutions. Sir has coordinated various assessors orientation programs and awareness program for NAC's assessment and accreditation process for stakeholders. Thoughtful, innovative outlook of Sir introduced a concept of outcome-based accreditation. He is one of those intellectuals who believes excellence is not an act, but a habit. He has completed two major research projects sanctioned by UGC New Delhi and IIPM New Delhi. He has around 6 books in the subjects of commerce and management to his credit. Sir has around 27 research papers and 90 articles published in various journals, magazines, and newspapers, presented in around 45 national and international conferences to his credit. Sir is one of the influential short speakers in QA fraternity in the country and has delivered keynote speeches in around 83 conferences, seminars, workshops, and webinars. Honorable Dr. Devender Kaude sir is a man of excellence, constantly stimulating the academic environment for promotion of quality of teaching, learning, and research in higher education institutions through the lectures and advice. We are honored to have you with us, sir. Welcome, sir. One more eminent personality is with us, who believes the only way to do great work is to love what you do. Dr. Sachin Deshmukh sir. He is presently working as a professor in Department of Computer Science and Information Technology and Director Innovation, Incubation and Linkages, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Aurangabad. He has shouldered the different responsibilities as Director of University Network and Information Center, Coordinator, Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Director, Center for Vocational Education and Training, Chief Coordinator, Spoken Tutorial Project, IITB, Coordinator, PET 2014, Treasurer, Institute of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, IETE, Aurangabad chapter. He is also a Director, Teachers Credit Cooperative Society, Secretary, Bamukta. He is not only an administrator, but also committed and passionate teacher too. He has more than 24 years of experience in teaching for postgraduates, MTech, MSc, MCA, and graduate courses, BE and BTech. Sir also have an experience of software development using Naac, Oracle, J2EE, XML, Java, scripts, PHP, and MySQL. He has given expert talks in universities and colleges on different recent technologies. He is also a diligent and dedicated researcher. He has 85 research articles to his credit published in reputed international journals. He is a respectable member of Enhancing Quality Assurance in South Asia Workshop of European Union. His extraordinary talent fetch him scholarship for research excellence under Erasmus Mundus program, Spain. He worked on deputation at AICTE New Delhi as a deputy director e-governance. He also worked as an associate professor at COEP Pune on lean. He was involved in conduction of meeting chaired by the then Honorable Minister of HRD, Government of India, Shri Kapil Sibbal, related to NVEQF framework designed by AICTE. The only place where success comes before the work is in the dictionary. Sir has tremendously worked hard. Deshmukh sir's hard work brought him various positions as member standing complaint scrutiny committee at AICTE, member peer committee Naac, expert committee member UGC, member ad hoc board of studies in bioinformatics and liberal arts, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Aurangabad. He is also BIOS member, Government Colleges of Engineering at Karad and Aurangabad. He is also member ad hoc board of computer science at Shivaji University, Kolhapur. He has visited Thailand, Santiago de Compostela University, Spain, University of Plafonnis in France under EQASA, Enhancing Quality Assurance in South Asia in 2017. He conducted more than 10 workshops on different recent technologies. He worked as a faculty at CDAC. Apart from university, he provided his fine consultancy for technology transfer for Satyam Pune, experts, Portal Computers, Aurangabad, Larehu, Infotech. Besides this, a passionate academician, researcher, completed projects funded by UGC, DST, and AICTE, etc. His area of research is data mining, text mining, intention mining, social network data mining, sentimental analysis, and opinion mining, many more things he mines. Many more feathers to come to his crown. Till today, I welcome both the dignitaries on the occasion, and now I request Kekre ma'am to proceed on. Kekre ma'am.
Thank you, sir. If anyone has any question, I request them to type in the chat box so that it will be answered at the end of the webinar by the resource person in question answer session. Now, may I request to Dr. Devender Kaude sir to deliver keynote address and enlighten us. Dr. Devender Kaude sir.
Yes, Namaskar. Can you hear?
Yes,
Can
sir.
you hear?
Yes, we are audible. You are audible, sir.
So nice. Because in this virtual concept, it is essential that you should keep on asking that type. Otherwise, sometimes we keep on speaking and सामने वाला सुन ही नहीं रहा. म्हणजे त्याला ऐकूच नाही होत. असं होते कधी कधी. बरं. Let us start. So, Namaskar to everybody. And of course, I think so. The anchor of this program, Swati Kedkari, nicely narrated the things about the program. And then principal of this institution, Vaishali Pradhan, Dr. Vaishali Pradhanji, something very interesting I saw, what I was being experiencing on the other day, I just discussed, interacted on telephone. You are a very special person. I think so you are a very good administrator, what I can see and assume. And of course, an intellect lady and a very good orator in English, that what I have assumed in a very short, brief interaction or what you view or experience, what you can say. Then Professor Sachin Deshmukhji, it will be my pleasure to hear you. Then MS Pathanji, the IQC coordinator, and Shankar Gavli, who was introduced nicely. And respected all good intellectual participants, let me share with you in the next 1 hour. Probably it will be an informative with lots of data I will be sharing with you related to the higher education institution. And I believe that the stakeholders of higher education, specifically the colleges, the institutions all over the country, has to play a big role after this emergency gets over. I will not say after COVID-19, because this COVID-19 will nowhere go. It will stay, it will be there. We'll have to come out with some solution for the same, and we all together will make it possible. Because hereafter the world will, after this emergency lockdown and all that gets over, the world will completely move into a new direction. And all over the people in the country, all over the world, you will find they are in the same channel. You will find, for example, people are moving towards online teaching, people are going towards online tremendously in a bigger scale. But it was a limitation. Now online purchasing, online transaction, all this now virtual concept has evolved like anything. Nobody might have thought about it. Nobody is going to say almost 90-95% of our academicians have never thought about that they will be having the webinar on this Zoom platform or Web Cisco or likewise. So you can assume it. With a simple virtual concept, we can reach to the thousands of people. This is a change which is happening. And we as an academician, here is the chance for us to bring that lots and lots of change in our personal life and institutional life also. So I am sharing my slide first to start with. This is the session about Naac's assessment and accreditation process and overview. So considering the base of this session, I will be sharing lots of things related to the other activity where as an institution and in addition to as an individual also you can grow and take lots of benefit from the same with this tool. Okay. So to start with about Naac first, I belong to an organization which have a very good reputation and goodwill all over. And it is something very interesting. We feel it very proud to work, as though we have to work enormously. We have to work almost 12 to 14 hours. We are so dedicated. All our officers are like that. So this Naac is National Assessment and Accreditation Council, is an autonomous institution established by University Grants Commission of India to assess and accredit the institution of higher education all over the country. Now, it is an outcome of National Policy of Education 1986, that National Policy of Education 1986 and Plan of Action 1994, which has advocated an establishment of independent autonomous accreditation body. So consequently, this Naac was established in 1994 with its headquarters in Bangalore. We have some vision and vision. I think every institution has a vision and vision, but our vision and vision is very special because we continue to see that our vision and vision are what we call implemented. For example, in the case of vision, we have one vision that is to make quality the determining element of instrument of higher education through internal and external quality evaluation, promotion, and sustenance initiatives. And there are some 5 visions. That is, number 1, to arrange periodic assessment and accreditation of institution of higher education. Number 2, to encourage self-evaluation, accountability, and autonomy in higher education institution. Number 3, to undertake quality-related research studies, consultancy, and training program. Number 4, to collaborate with the other stakeholders of higher education for quality evaluation and sustenance initiative. So what happens? Guided by its vision and striving to achieve its mission, Naac basically assesses the institution of higher education who volunteers for this process. We have never made any institution come. It's a compulsory part. It's not like that from our Naac. It's a government. The system is making compulsory, and there is a reason. It's not simply they are saying that you please move ahead with the Naac ANA process. Otherwise, you will have so much of setback, or like this fund will not be received, and so many plus minus are. But it is only Naac, from Naac's angle, it's a voluntary process, and it has an immense benefit. And this all is based on these core values, what you can see in front of you, that is contribution to national development, fostering global competition among students, inculcating value. All you can see, promotion of user technologies, this space for excellence. It is continuously striving for excellence. We believe that we also in our Naac do all our activities with an excellence concept. We see that our stakeholders' feedback and suggestions are well taken, and we keep on upgrading ourselves. That is quest for excellence. And so what the same we expect from our stakeholders too, that they should also continuously strive for excellence. And believe me, friends, this helps overall, as already stated, as an institution and even an individual to grow and have a lots of take for their own professional benefit. Now, Naac facilitates in many ways. It facilitates the institution to know its strength, weakness, and opportunities through informed review process. Then second, identification of new areas of resource allocation, new sense of direction, identity for the institution. Then collegiality in the campus, funding agency to look for objective data for performance funding, just like RUSA and all that. Then society to look for reliable information, and even the employer also to look for reliable information for quality education offered to their prospective recruits. You know, at present it's not happening, but in the future it's definitely going to happen. The reason is MHRD is making every institution, it is making compulsory that they should go with the ANA process. It is essential. And then again, the reason that they want the quality accreditation should be there in higher education all over the country. So what they are striving hard for the same. So once it happens in that way, what will happen? The students who want to take an admission in a good institution, they will see that what sort of grade that particular institution has, what sort of goodwill that institution has, and accordingly only they will proceed for that admission. Similarly, the employers, whenever the recruitment process is happening, wherever in whichever organization, they will always see that recruitment is being done only where there is a good grade for that institution. Okay, where the goodwill is good, then only. Then intra and institutional interactions. How it works, you know, here it is this is what is present through webinars, through institutional interaction, through collaboration. A key indicator in number criteria 3 also related with that how frequently the institution has a collaborative activities, have an MOU, means student exchange, faculty exchange program, or likewise. Means the reason is that it is possible that institution might not be good in all the places. They might be having some weakness somewhere, something. So it is they can extract that thing from the other institution which they have a good, which they are good in it. If they are able to provide that facilities. That is called inter-institutional interaction and collaboration is essential for an institution to grow in total. Next, interrelated concept. This interrelated concept is something, what you can see is that there should be a good coordination between the academic and administrative staff. If there is lack of coordination in that way, there is a possibility that the institution may suffer. One fiction I will share with you. You know, one say boy who wanted to do an MBA was in search of a good institute. Okay, so he was in search. So he discussed with his friends, which is the good institute. So his friend said that some XYZ is a good institute in the city for MBA. You can go there and inquire. So with that intention, the boy went to that institute And on an entry gate, it was an old and good institute. Okay, it was a famous one. But on an entry gate, there was, of course, in an entry gate of any good institution, the security guards are there and all that. The security guard stopped that boy. He was a handsome, good-looking security guard. So he stopped that boy and asked, "What is the business? Why have you come?" The boy replied, "Sir, I wanted to do an MBA and I came to know the MBA course is being taught there. And if it is so, how it is? Can you explain? कैसा है आप बताएंगे?" The security guard very enthusiastically replied, "हाँ हाँ MBA course है ना यहाँ पे, मैंने किया है ना यहाँ से." Now you can assume what sort of that thought process or that impression of that institution might be on that boy, and what will happen, that you can understand. Though the institution was of high repute, it was a very good goodwill, but there was a lack of coordination between the administrative and academic staff, and unfortunately the administrative people have recruited an MBA guy who will be on security. So that will be a repercussion, the reflection like that only. So it is essential that there should be good coordination. This is just an example. And sometimes you will find in the administrative side, the clerks are not speaking properly or behaving properly with the student. They speak rudely in case of interaction, in case of examination form submission or fees taken or likewise. So it is essential that the administrative staff should also be taken into confidence for quality upgradation. If you bypass them, it is very difficult then for an academic fraternity to move ahead, because we cannot move an inch ahead without an administrative support. So administrative staff is equally important for quality upgradation. Okay, now focus on quality. Friends, some figures I will share with you. Why we have to focus on quality in our country, and you will be surprised if you are not knowing. We have 993 universities, 39,931 colleges, 10,725 standalone institutions, and if you total it, it is around 51,649 institutions with us. Yes, it is the second largest higher education system in the world, catering to around 37.4 million of students. This 37.4 million of students is as good as population of Canada. This Canada population is only 37 point some million is there. Australia population is 25.5 million, and our student population itself is 37.4 million. It's a big one. It's an asset basically. Now, this 51,649 institution is essential that there should be quality upgradation in this institution for us to compete with the other institutions around the world, and which you very well know that at present we are not so compatible because of so many reasons. It's not we don't have potential. Enormous potential is there with the Indians, with specifically the Indian academicians and the students and all that. There is the utility of that potential to be materialized basically, and for that this focus on quality is very essential. And one more line is there: quality in higher education basically provides learners with the capability they require to become, number one, economically productive; number two, develop sustainable livelihood; number three, contribute to peaceful and democratic society; and number four, enhance individual well-being. These are the four pillars. These are the pillars of the quality in higher education. And there are several others. It provides value for money, both in case of efficiency and effectiveness. It provides knowledge, know-how, wisdom, and characters to the student. Now, this character is something related with honesty, integrity, curiosity, truthfulness, cooperativeness, ready to work alone and with others. So many things are there with this quality, which is the basically are the basic or basis. But what are the things it has to be achieved? What are the steps? So Naac can be or is considered to be one of the tool, one of the method where the quality in higher education can be achieved. Yes, there are the other agencies also. This NB also, not National Board of Accreditation, which only does the program accreditation with the specific type of institution. For example, engineering, pharmacy, management, then architect course, like this only. There is a limitation, but Naac does an institutional accreditation, and it doesn't have any sort of particular limitations. We also do, and recently we have come out with several types of manual. You might be knowing university manual, affiliated, autonomous. Then we have developed Sanskrit manual also. We have developed health science manual also. We have developed teacher education manual also. We have developed open and distance learning manual also. So such type dual mode manual. So such type so many things we continuously keep on working for the upgradation of the quality in higher education in the country. So this focus on quality matters. And believe me, friends, it is not institution's business. It is not only institutional business, it is a business of an individual also to get involved and make it happen. Let us go step by step. So this 7-letter word quality has a great meaning, okay, that you can see. I will say for every word we can have a great description, but in a brief I will tell you. Q stands for quest for excellence, U for understanding the concept, A for action orientation, L for learning centric approach, I for innovation for change, T for training for competition, and Y for year-round activities. Essential that the institution should focus on the quality, and it is not a one day. It's a year-round activity. Every day you have to do this. You have to take these steps. Then only the things are possible. And with the 7-letter word quality, the 7 criteria are being developed, and the 7 criteria are considered to be as the 7 core functions of higher education institution. These 7 criteria, so-called 7 core functions, are further divided into key indicators. Okay, these key indicators, as you can see, there are 34 in number for universities and autonomous colleges, and 31 for undergraduate and 32 for postgraduate college. These key indicators are bifurcated like this. Okay, and this further bifurcation of this key indicator in the form of metrics. Okay, this metrics for a layman you can assume it as a question, simple question. These metrics are, as you can see, there are 115 for universities in number, 93 for undergraduate, and 96 for postgraduate. These metrics are bifurcated and called as in the form of qualitative and quantitative metrics. In a very simple words, I will explain what is this. Probably, if you would have heard my webinars in Naac portal and all that, this may be revision, but it's something very interesting because I believe that something extra we should give every time. So these metrics, qualitative and quantitative metrics. Qualitative metrics are metrics which are subjective in nature, basically. Okay. Previously, the whole assessment and accreditation process was subjective in nature. Means what? The peer team used to visit the institution and they used to assess it, and accordingly the score was being given. Means all it was based on the peer team understanding. Now maximum of the things are objective in nature, so called as quantitative metrics. Okay. Here, on the basis of the data and the documentation submitted and uploaded by the institution, the things are being assessed. Let us see what is the bifurcation. If you go with the bifurcation, you will find there are 96 number of total metrics for postgraduate affiliated colleges and 93 for undergraduate affiliated college. These metrics, up till December 19, these metrics are 121 in number. Now we have drastically brought down to 96 and 93. While for universities 115 and autonomous 107. Also, these metrics were previously 115, previously it was 137 metrics, and for autonomous were 136 metrics, 137 and 136 like this. We have drastically brought down in order to help the institution so that they can score and they can have that flexibility. And but one very important thing is that this tool equally remains rigid, robust and transparent. This is the specialty of the tool, and so it's working very nicely. When we go with the bifurcation, if we talk about affiliated, because I believe that maximum of you people are from affiliated college who are listening. So if we talk about affiliated colleges, the bifurcation is in the form of 67 and 33%. Means 67% of the metrics are quantitative in nature, means they are objective in nature, while 33% are subjective in nature. And the same is the case with all these types. You can assume and understand whatever is being given on the system. That is 66.5% is for undergraduate and 33.5% for qualitative metrics for undergraduate affiliated college. Likewise, autonomous and universities there. Example 1. So how does this look like? This qualitative metric, one example is institution frequently updates its IT facility. This is from criteria number 4. Frequently updates its IT facility. Okay, there institution has to write down in 500 words how frequently they update its IT facility, including Wi-Fi. It's the need of the hour. They have to upgrade it. Everything is now in a virtual form. Maximum of your teaching is on virtual form learning and all that. Probably evaluation will also happen. So anyhow it has to be updated. So the institution has to write down in 500 words, and this will be then detailed or seen when the peer team visit the institution, that how it is upgraded, how exactly it is upgraded. That is the concept. Then In case of quantitative metrics, we talk about student computer ratio. Here figures are involved. Okay, so how many numbers of students are there and how many numbers of computers are there? So according to the ratio, so what sort of data and documentation, specifically documentation, is data that you will provide, but related documentation, what you have to be provided is very well explained in our standard operating procedure. SOP is the term nowadays very famous, in our country also, because after lockdown, this SOP has to be implemented, how the people should behave, what will be the new normal and all that. So this SOP which we utilize this term since 2017, and here everything related with what that documentation has to be uploaded and submitted by the institution is being given there, specifically related to the quantitative metrics. This image I often share in my slides, and that is an interesting part related with this image, and a quote is there, and it narrates like that. What it narrates that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. This is the narration. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. This can be applied in any part of your life. It depends. आपका देखने का नजरिया अगर आपने बदल दिया, तो things will be different for you. Yes, this is a very simple thing. Same is the case with our tool. The people who have taken it in a positive spirit, the people who have taken the institution, the stakeholders of the institution have taken in with the things they can achieve the quality in higher education with that positive note, with the gratitude when they have taken, they have really grown. And other than the contrary, the people who have taken it in the negative part, feel that it is complicated, it's very difficult, they have not grown. And those percentages are very less for information. Okay. Now we'll go with the criteria wise. First criteria is curricular aspect. This curricular aspect, you will find that there are 4 key indicators. Okay, any type of institution, university, affiliated, autonomous, 4 key indicators. For university, it is curriculum design and development. Okay, because they have to design and develop the curriculum. While for colleges, it is for planning and implementation, because they have to plan and implement the syllabus derived or decided or conceived by the university. It's very easy for the college. So what you will find the weightage also. For university is 150 weightage, college autonomous 150, but for affiliate it's only 100 weightage, because universities and autonomous colleges are there to design and develop the syllabus. And very interesting and simple metrics we have been asking here in this particular criteria. For example, if we talk about curriculum planning and development, planning and implementation, here we are asking institution integrates, for example, institution, if we talk about the metrics related with the curriculum planning and implementation, here we are asking institution ensures effective curriculum delivery through well documented process. Okay, so here the institution has to give in detail of 500 words what sort of steps they are taking for planning and implementation of the syllabus by the university. Then if you talk about curriculum, example, I am taking 2-3 minutes example, because if it detailed, it will take 4-5 hours. Curriculum enrichment. So in curriculum enrichment, one metric I remember is the institution ensures effective curriculum delivery. For example, institution integrates cross-cutting issues such as gender equity, environment conscious and sustainability, okay, human values and professional ethics into the curriculum. Means how they are upgrading the curriculum in respect of teaching. That has to be narrated here in 500 words. Similarly, in feedback system, we used to take the feedback for so many years, but probably record keeping was a question in some of the institutions. Now it is essential that they have to keep the records of at least 5 years, because we are asking what sort of feedback from whom, from whom they have taken, from teachers, specifically related with from students, alumni, parents, or likewise that feedback from 4 options are there, and what they have done with that feedback, whether they have evaluated, whether they have implemented the suggestion. And one very important thing, they have to put that feedback in the website, on the website, for the stakeholders to understand what is going on in the institution. In this criteria 1 is there. When we talk about criteria 2, teaching, learning, and evaluation, here we are focusing on classroom dynamics. Okay, classroom dynamics means the rapport between the students and the teachers, and what sort of facilities the institution is being providing to the students in respect of the teaching learning process. Example ke taur pe I will tell you, if we talk about this catering to students diversity, here we are asking the institution assesses the learning level of students and provide some facilities for advanced learners and slow learners in respect of, say, remedial classes or bridge courses and likewise. Okay, if we talk about teaching learning process, then whether the institution implements or the teachers implement the student-centric method such as experiential learning, participatory learning, and problem-solving methods for in order to enhance the learning level of the students. Such type of very simple questions are metrics are there. And if you talk about teachers profile and quality, here we are asking how many number of teachers are PhD holders. We are asking about the experience of the teachers, full-time teachers in the institution, and likewise. So in this way, this all 7 criteria are related with teaching learning concept of the institution. One very important thing I would like to share with you related with these criteria, there is one simulation effect. You know, the concept of simulation is there. Many of you people might be knowing the concept of simulation, which can be implemented, or you can say which may be implemented at the initial stage of planning or making strategies. When we come out with this whole process, the simulation process can be. And what is the simulation is? It is an imitation of the operation of a real world. It's an imitation of the operation of basically whatever you are going to do. It's an imitation of the operation. That is the simulation process, which can be implemented for moving ahead with this criteria. Okay, when you prepare the SSR. And much about that, let me share with you. This is not only an advantages for preparing an SSR. This is also, again I repeat, many of the times I have repeated, this is also an advantages for an individual also. As an individual also it is an advantages. Okay, so take it seriously. Now, criteria number 3, this is related to the research, innovation and extension. And here you will find the weightage is 110 and 120 for affiliated colleges. For universities, 250 weightage, autonomous 150. Why university has so much of weightage? The reason is universities are expected to do that because of the facilities they are having in the form of physical facility or research related facility. While the affiliated college, we have made at least 2 key indicators not applicable for postgraduate colleges and 3 key indicators not applicable for undergraduate college. And which are those that you can see? Promotion of research and facilities not applicable for postgraduate and undergraduate, both the type of college. Innovation ecosystem is only not applicable for undergraduate college. Postgraduate is applicable. While consultancy is also not applicable for both the type of college. Why we have provided this facility to the affiliate college? That question can always arise. The reason is, you know, out of this, I already shared with you the figure. 51,649 institutions with us. 60.53% of this institution are in rural area. 60.53% of the institution are in rural area, and that too in maximum of this 51,614, maximum of the institutions are managed by private owners. Means almost 77.7% of the institutions are managed by the private players. Out of that, only 13.5% are the affiliated college. Private affiliated means granted college. Rest 66 point some, I think the 64.5% are totally no grant college. So this much of big figure, there is always a fund grant, there is a lack of facility, and that to maximum of in rural area. So we felt that because of that, and if you ask any of the stakeholders of the institution of in this area, you will find they are very much interested in teaching learning. They are tired of teaching learning rather than research in. So you will find that teaching learning is given more weightage, 350. While in research we have given slightly less weightage for this affiliated colleges. That is the way. Okay. Now moving on to the criteria number 4. This is infrastructure and learning resources. Here only 100 weightage is there. Okay. For all the types of institution. And what are the things included? Physical facilities, libraries, that you can see in front of the scene. But basically, how it is easy to institution to score, let me share with you. Physical facilities to talk about. Here we are asking how many facilities, how much of facilities the institution is providing the student in respect of teaching learning process. For example, they have a classroom, seminar hall, library, laboratory, this type of facility, whether they have it, they have to give in detail. And one more, sports facility, indoor, outdoor sports. Okay, this they have to give in. I think so maximum of the institution might be having. Outdoor, at least indoor, so they will have to, that has to be given in detail. What then if you talk about library as a learning resources, here we are focusing on many of the things. For example, institution has an integrated library management system, ILM software. It's essential, which helps the institution to keep the books in order and it's easy access for the students, for the teachers, and the proper record of the same. So many things are beneficial if you go with the ILMS. Then one more matrix I remember is related with the budget allocated for purchase of books and journals. This type of one metric is there. If we talk about IT infrastructure, I already shared one qualitative and quantitative metrics related with that. For example, how frequently institution upgrades its IT facilities and Wi-Fi, the number of student-computer ratio, and all that type of metrics are there. Maintenance of campus infrastructure. This is very interesting. Though it sounds very simple, but it's interesting. Why? Something related with that I am going to share with you, and that is maintenance of campus infrastructure. We are asking how much of budget is being allocated by the institution for this maintenance of campus infrastructure, and what are the means and ways they are implementing for this, and why it is interesting. There is one line and quote I will share with you, and that line is, see how useful it is. Place for everything and everything in its place. Okay, place for everything and everything in its place. When an individual or an institution goes with this concept, there is always everything goes in a smooth way. Okay. Example के तौर पे, if you talk an individual's house, घर के बारे में, if you talk about, if you have that, you have a car or a bike, when you come into the house after parking it, and when you drop that key somewhere in the table or in front of the TV or somewhere in the drawer, but not at the place where it has to be, then what will happen? When in case of emergency, when you are going out, then you keep on searching here and there, and there is all mess and there is halla gulla in the house because you don't find the key, because you are not kept in a place where it has to be. Understood? So, if you go with that slogan, place for everything and everything in its place, things will go always smoothly. Wheresoever, even though if you are reading the books, if you are writing something, if you are doing something, if you are anything related with that. Same is the case with the infrastructure in the campus also. If in the campus, if we go with that neat and clean activities with this slogan, you will find a very pleasing atmosphere is there. Means, agar hamare ghar mein ganga na raha, if it is very bad inside and it's not clean, what will happen? We will not like to stay there. We don't want to. Somebody will not like to come into our house, and if it keeps on smelling and like that. Similarly, in the case of our institution also. In the institution, if everything is neat and clean, if we are maintaining it properly, then that positivity is there. Okay, then that positive energy flows there. You will find that you want to visit that institution, if you are teaching there, you want to stay there for a longer time. Your students would like to stay there for a longer time. So this maintenance of campus infrastructure matters a lot, sir. Take efforts to make this thing possible, because I know and understand there are so many issues is possible. The non-teaching staff ka issues ho sakta hai, some cleanliness people ka issues ho sakta hai, money ka issues. But anyway, you try to manage it the same way as you manage your own house. Now going further, criteria number 5, that is student support and progression. Here you have the weightage of, you will find for affiliated college 140 and 130. This is a weight adjustment with criteria number 3. Basically, for all 7 criteria, we have 1000 weightage. And that the weightage adjustment is been done. Means total weightage for assessing the institution is 1000. Okay, with the 0 to 4 scale, that 4 stands for a maximum. Means 1000 into 4 is equal to 4000. On that basis, the marks are being given. The score is being given. Now the student progression. Here we are focusing on what sort of benefit the student is being getting by the institution in respect of many ways. For example, in student support. In student support, the metric is like whether the institution is providing free ship and scholarship to the student provided by the government and non-government agency. Okay, that type of metric is there. Similarly, capacity enhancement development program being initiated by the institution. What sort of related with example ke taur pe some soft skill training, yoga classes, ICT training, likewise. So whether such type of some options are there, you have to take it and give certain related document whether these such type of programs are being implemented or not. Okay, some certificate courses might be related. Then student progression, if we talk about this, is interesting. Why? Because here we are asking how many number of students are being placed during last 5 years, the number of students who have gone for higher studies, number of students who have gone cleared the competitive exam. That detail has to be given so you can have a proper record. Then student participation in activity. Here we are asking how many number of students have participated in the extracurricular activities. It's related, can be related to the university or some academic activities, some sports related activity, and what sort of recognition, award they have received. Such type of things are being asked. Alumni engagement is very interesting, which has 10 vintage, but why it is interesting? Because alumni, you see, if we are an alumni of some institution and if we are being asked to give some session, or if we are being recognized, or if we are being say welcomed, so that as an alumni we would like to give to that institution. Okay, this Million College is a very old institution. The alumni might be very much fond of this institution. I think so Madam herself is there. So in that way they would like to, Madam has devoted her life, that principal Madam has devoted her life for that institution. Vaishali Pradhanji has devoted such type of devotion. When it is there for the institution, then the institution, of course, the student gets benefit. So this alumni engagement matters a lot. So we are asking what sort of financial and non-financial transaction or means or help is being provided by the alumni to the student. One more example I will give. If an alumni is working in some big corporate company, in good company, and say there is a recruitment, a requirement of some of the freshers there. So what he will do? He will of course think about the institution where he has studied. Okay, so in this way the students also will tremendously get benefited in respect of their placement. So alumni association matters a lot. Then criteria number 6 is the governance, leadership and management. Here you will find 100 weightage. And why it is important? It's both interesting. I have intentionally shared these images here. See, here we are asking, this is basically focused on how the governance of that institution is effective. And so one metric I remember, the governance of the institution is reflective, often effective implementation of its vision and mission. Whether they understand it and accordingly are they acting, or simply doing a drama. That is important. So if the vision and mission, because whenever a sanstha is being formed, whenever the institution is being formed, there is of course a vision and mission which is related with the beneficial of the society in large around that institution, and whether it is being done or not, that is important. So here the leadership matters, here the governance matters. And one important thing, the governance of the institution, the leaders of the institution, the management, the principal, the vice chancellor of the institution should have that open, should be very much flexible actually for to adopt changes. Okay, they should be open-minded. If simply they go with the ego and all that, probably the whole institution may suffer. Okay, so this type of metrics are related with this criteria. And one more addition thing, this is something which is related with the training program. We are asking this particular criteria and the key indicator in this and metric under it beneath this are related with how in a proper way the institution is providing a benefit to the teachers and the non-teaching staff both. There's a training program, whether the training program for the teaching and non-teaching staff is held by the institution or not. How self-appraisal, performance appraisal form for both teaching and non-teaching. We are not only asking about teaching, we are also focusing on non-teaching because we feel that non-teaching staff should also is of equally importance for this process. Similarly, whether because we found that few of the institutions were not sending their teachers for the refresher course, orientation program, there were few of the institution, and this refresher course program are basically related with the career growth of the teachers, and that was a focus point. So we have kept a metric here that how many number of teachers or the percentage of school teachers are being sent for this orientation refresher course by the institution. So such type of metric. Then internal quality assurance. This let me share with you something important. This IQAS, in which IQAC is there. It is internal quality assurance cell. So what we are asking, how vibrant your IQAC is there in the institution. And you know, this IQAC can be assumed to be soul of the institution, and it should be very vibrant. Yes, your friends should be vibrant. And for that, in order to make it vibrant, it is essential that the leader, the governor, the stakeholder, the teachers of that institution should support the IQAC coordinator. And if he is really working very hard and he is devoted, then he should be given some sort of incentive also. He should be motivated immensely. There should be a lot of coordination for him from all the stakeholders, not only IQC coordinators, all the members of the IQC, because they are there for the upgradation of the quality in that higher education institution, and it is their moral responsibility to think continuously into that direction. It is not only for Naac, it is for their own growth, their institution growth, and that will immensely benefit them in the future. Then this bifurcation is there for all these metrics. If we talk about 96 number of metrics for postgraduate colleges, affiliate postgraduate college. So a bifurcation, assumption bifurcation can be like this. There are 22 input type of metrics where you can see that number of students, what sort of curricula is being implemented, how many number of faculty staff, non-teaching staff, etc. In case of process, teaching learning process, how it is, how is the evaluation process going on. This process based there are 44, and output based there are 30. So output based is how many number of students are placed, how many research papers are being published, what sort of practices are being done by the institution for the social responsibility, likewise that is contribution to community and related with the concept. So this can be the bifurcation for that all 96 metric, and similarly can be the bifurcation for that 93 metric for undergraduate college, 115 metric for universities, and 107 metric for autonomous institution. Okay. Optional metrics. This optional metric is a facility. Yes. What is the facility? Why it is? You know, friends, we have 51,649 institutions all around the country, spread across 29 states and 7 union territories. It's a massive one. So with so much of diversification, it is possible that few of the metrics may not be applicable to the institution. Okay, so we have come out with a facility for the institution that they can opt those metrics which are not applicable to them, but with certain rule. We have come out with a rule that they can, because people were taking due advantage of the facility which we have given. So we have come out with the rule. And the rule is not more than 30 weightage can be opted. Okay, not more than 30 means total 1,000 weightage ka full the tool is based on, and out of that only 30 weight can be opted. But there is a restriction for every criteria, not more than 10 weightage for every criteria. Criteria number 1, 2, and 7 is compulsory. Criteria number 3, 4, 5, 6. Only from these criteria the institution can opt. And what are the metrics basically they can opt is given and narrated in our manual last page, that you can see what are the things they can opt. Qualitative metrics they cannot opt at all. This is the thing about optional metrics. Moving ahead, requirement of quantitative metrics I have already shared. As per the metric input, the institution has to give the supporting document in the format that is a data template. Data template is there that I will share with you after this. In data template is an Excel sheet. On the data template, whatever the figure they will be giving, related with that figure, they have to give that supporting document. Then only all this combination, all these three combinations are essential for the quantitative metrics. So this is a data template, it's an Excel sheet basically, and where the supporting document has to be given by the institution. It is there not more than 5 MB data. Yes, 5 MB data ke upar ka you cannot give into that portal, into the Naac portal. What you have to do then? You have to keep that data, because many of the times so much of images and all that are there related with the institutions, whatsoever the work they are doing related with the quality upgradation and such type of things. They have to, that images and all that heavy data they have to keep into their own website with a link. A proper link has to be given and pasted here. That link should work basically. It should be correct, not even a single mistake. If you miss a single mistake also in the link, probability is there that it will not open. And if it is not opening, then you understood. Okay, so it should be properly, and it should be without crossword. So this is the data template. This is a print view of the data template. You will find this data template in our last pages of the manual. Some last 10-15 pages. That is the last part of the manual. Second last part. Last part is related with the optional metric. Here you will find all data template. In university, it's the last part because in university there is no optional metric. Okay. Standard operating procedure that I already shared, there is an SOP for all the quantitative metrics which the institution has to understand categorically. Unless and until they understand this SOP, it is very difficult for them, because what sort of documentation is required for that particular quantitative metric, they should understand. And the same SOP, the same standard operating procedure is also followed by the DVA partner who are going to assess your quantitative metric, what you have given, the quantitative metric data and documentation. This is the base. So what they have to upload, what they have to give is very well nicely narrated metric wise. It is in our website, it is available, and it is in help for the institution. Even nowadays, so people, the academicians have started giving the lectures and taking the sessions on the standard operating procedure. It is so nicely narrated, because yes, of course, it's all efforts of our good officers who have almost, it is revised 9 to 10 times, and they continuously keep on taking efforts to revise it, to make it much more easy, flexible, and understandable for the institution to proceed ahead with the quantitative metrics. Okay, so this all standard operating procedure is there as per quantitative metrics available in our manual. Highlights and slightly briefing I will be sharing, because in criteria number 2, I did not spoke much about the criteria because I was to speak here. Student satisfaction survey. Here, this is something very interesting in our criteria number 2. It is key indicator 2.7, which has a 30 weightage for universities, 60 weightage for affiliated college. Yes, it has a 60 weightage for affiliated college. And what are the things included in it? This is a process where we are seeking the feelings or thought process about the, from the student about the teaching learning process of that institution, and that too in a virtual form. So interesting. None of the agency in the world is moving ahead with this concept. We are doing it, and 99% we are successful making this product. What are the things here? Institutions have to submit 50% of their data related with the student. Okay, at least 50. What data? Compulsorily email address. That is compulsory. Okay, because email address, why? Because these questionnaires related with the student satisfaction survey, we send it through email to them. A link is being sent on that email. Once the student clicks that link, that questionnaire comes in front of that student on that particular system, and accordingly with the 4 options are there. I will share with the type of question. 4 options are there. They have to click it and submit it. Okay, so at least 50% is essential. We have drastically brought down to 50% previously when we initiated this in 17. It was 100%. So we received lots of feedback and suggestions from the stakeholders, higher education all over the country, that there is a lack of somewhere, there might not be mobile, the institution, the students in rural area, they not be having an email address and all that, so much of things, but we did not go down, we made it flexible, that we have did it. Okay, and now what is happening with the present condition, with this COVID-19 concept, anyhow the people are moving ahead with the mobile, with the email address, the virtual classroom and all that, so no, there is no problem at all. If there is, so we have made it a flexible for the institution and for the students also. So SSR cannot be uploaded unless student satisfaction data, that 50% of data is essential. Unless it is uploaded or the data is being given to that SSR, the SSR itself cannot get uploaded. So it is a compulsion, because that blank column cannot be blank, so it has to be filled. The student satisfaction survey questionnaire is mailed to all the students, what I have already shared. As soon as the SSR gets uploaded, SSS gets initiated like this. Responses should be received. This is facility we have provided to the institution. It is not essential that 100% students should, at least 10% or 100. This much of response is needed. At least itna mil gaya means the institution can score into that particular key indicator. Okay. So if the response rate is lower than the limits, the metric is not taken up for evaluation. Of course, as I said, it will not be, they will not score into that key indicator. Student satisfaction survey happens simultaneously with the DVA process. Means as soon as the SSR gets uploaded, DVV process starts, that is data validation verification process, and student satisfaction survey process also start. One example I am sharing with you how it is. So this is one of the example of an institution where they have 2,000 number of students, okay, and they have shared in IIP, because this number has to be first shared in that IIP, that is institutional information for quality assessment. Unless they share it, the things cannot move. So out of this 2,000, at least 50% data, minimum 50% they have to submit. Means they can submit 100% also, they can give the data of 100% also, but minimum requires 50%. Just let us take an example. If the institution has uploaded 50% of data, and after uploading the data, after giving the data, after uploading of SSR, the student satisfaction survey gets initiated. And if it gets initiated, what happens? Here 30% of 1,000 means, suppose they have uploaded 50% means 1,000 number of students data upload kiya hai. So in that case, or in any case, initially 30% of the students are randomly selected out of this 1,000, and this link is being sent to them. And to whom the link is being sent, that nobody knows, only system knows. Okay, and system does not speak on its own. So 300 number of students has been sent, and out of that, the institution to score, they should get it at least 10% or 100, whichever is less. Itna they should get it. Okay. Now, once they get this number of this number of response from the student, then only the institution can score into that particular key indicator. Got it? This is very easy way. We have come out with some posters also for student satisfaction survey for the institutions to know. Okay, so what they do it, we have kept it in our website. This poster, as soon as student satisfaction survey gets initiated, this poster has to be advertised or put on their website, or they can come out on their notification all over the institution for the students to know and understand this student satisfaction survey has been initiated, and they have to click their mail, they have to check their mail and then click the link and submit that SSS after filling it, after giving their response. In this all details have been there to the students. This is information from Naac side in the form of poster in order to help the institution to proceed with their student satisfaction survey process. This is an example how it looks like. The questionnaire is in the, for example, there in the student satisfaction survey, there are 20 objective and 1 subjective question. Okay, this 20 objective question is in the form of 0 to 4 scale, as you can see. 4 seems to be the most positive response, is the maximum score, and 0 is the most negative response. And this all questionnaire are based on the teaching learning process only. There is no personal question, no faculty related question, all teaching learning process only. Okay, so it's very easy for the institution and the students to know what their students think about the institution. That is in the form of score, what they will be receiving through the students' response. So one example, one more here I am sharing how the count looks like. For example, in this case, the institution has a 478 number of students only, 478. Total upload count is 478 and total students selected 470. Yes. Why it is? Because what happened when the 30 few of the institution we are in the rural area somewhere, the probability that the response is very less. So in that way, we provide them a facility. We have provided them the facility of at least 1 month. Means 30% of the students, when they are selected initially, 15 days time is being given, and within 15 days time, if the institution is scoring that 10% or 100 response from the student, if they are getting it, then the SSS gets closed. But in case if the 10% or 100 response is not received, then the system itself sends all the students that link. All means rest of the 70% is being the link is being sent to them for response. Means in total, the more 15 days, the students will get it to respond, or the institution will get it that they can score from the response by the student. So in this case, see, 478 number of students were there. Initially, it might be 30% of the students might be selected and they might have sent the mail. They might be having sent the mail by the system, but because the response was not there, so total then 478 mail was being sent. All the 478 students were mail has been sent with the link. And after that, what happened? Within few time, they scored it 3.03 with a response from 48.53%, and so many students responded. Only the limit was 10%, but here the response is 48.53%. And from there, the institution was able to score 3.0. In this way, the satisfaction survey was very interesting. And this whole concept is basically, I think, so all our academic fraternities should understand the future of the work will be defined, maybe can be defined as volatile, uncertain, complexity, and ambiguity. Yes, these are the four concepts, which is probabilities, which is means the future of the work is based on that. So what is essential? It is essential. It is our duty to develop students' capability. It is essential to develop our students' capability to fight all odds. That is the capability we have to develop among students. So this PSS is very important. Other things, innovation ecosystem. Here it has a 30 weightage, okay. And how interesting it is with the 30 weightage. You know, one quote I will share relatively. Innovation is the conversion of human desirability, technical feasibility, and business viability. Yes. So what it's very important. 30 weightage for universities, for affiliated postgraduate college, 10 weightage. We in India, having a 136 crore plus population, we seriously lack in this innovation ecosystem that everybody knows. I will tell you with figures. In 2011, when an evaluation of patent was being extracted, being done, then it was found that India ranked 17th in position with only 5,170 patents, compared to Japan, number 1 in position with 2,74,325 patents. USA second in position with 2,72,120 patents, and China, of course, third in number with 1,74,000 something. And where is India? 17 in position. So it was in 11. Probably in 2021 it will be again assessed and evaluated. Will definitely the figures might climb. For your information, you will agree that our people only, we only go out, and many of our people has gone out and come out with several patents. We have an innovative mind with us. Essential part is we have to be pushed into that direction, to think into that direction, to provide enough of facility and atmosphere. They can think innovative and creativity, which is need of the hour. Even our recently Prime Minister also come out with the slogan and requested within appeal when we went with the ban of that 59 apps or Chinese apps, then he came with an appeal that why can't Indians tech-savvy people can come out with the app. So they are working on that. So of course, in a very short time of time, there will be a miracle happen. So we in our Naac also come out with the metric. The innovation institution has an ecosystem, including incubation center for sharing and transfer of knowledge. So at least there should be some committee, some meeting should happen. Anyway, some motivation should be there, some atmosphere should be there. If it happens sometime like this, it keep on happening, you will assume the difference. See, friends, we have 14,16,199 teachers with us. 14,16,000, almost 200 plus teachers. With this much of teachers and 37.4 million of students, can't we bring miracles? Of course. So we should have a cordial atmosphere. So what we have kept, one more metric, I remember, number of workshop seminar was being carried out for intellectual property rights or industry academy activity or research workshop like this. So such type of metric are there related to the innovation ecosystem. For universities, so we are asking patents also. For affiliated college, we are not asking immediately patent, but for the university, we are asking. So this is interesting. Alumni engagement, I already explained. Now criteria number 7, which was remaining and intentionally, because this criteria number 7, which is basically related with the institutional values and social responsibilities. Yes, criteria 7 is related to the institutional values and social responsibilities. And I always share in my presentation that this can be the slogan of all our intellectuals, that particular institution should not be in existence if it is not working for the society. अगर वो समाज के लिए कुछ नहीं कर रहा होगा तो why the institution should be in existence? Yes, because the institutions are there for the society only, and this whole criteria is based on that. You can see there the key indicators: gender equity, environment caution and sustainability, inclusion. All these key indicators are basically government slogan. Somehow, anyhow, you have to implement, you have to do some other activity because of the government policy. But here we have kept it so that we can do it also and keep a record of last 5 years and can score it. And so interesting. For again, one more example I will share with you. Environment, caution, and sustainability. It is a 26 weightage. And here we are focusing on how much of the institution has a facility related to the alternate source of energy. For example, solar energy, then LED bulbs utilization, then waste management steps, what sort of steps they are taking, then green harvesting, green campus initiative, what sort of steps they are taking. Such type of interesting key indicators are there, metrics are there, where we are asking the institution that if they proceed with the steps, strong steps, what we have asked or what we are focused on, believe me, friend, because what we do it, our students take the same message from the institution and try to implement in the society. For example, if we are implementing a solar panels, if we are moving ahead with, or if we are proceeding with the rainwater harvesting or some green practices, waste management concept, the same will be implemented by the student in the society, because students keep on watching the teachers in the institution, how they do, how they act, and how they behave, and accordingly only the proceeds, and accordingly only they behave and act. Just like in our house, how our kids keep on watching us and they act accordingly, how their parents do. Similarly, students keep on watching their teachers and the institution, accordingly they act. Then comes best practices. Here, why it is important? It has a 30 weightage, because we always say the best practice for the institution must be innovative, radical, and out of box thinking. Yes, and it should be related with the sustainable development. Best practices, of course, should be related. Then only it will be called as best practices. And if we are moving ahead with the best practices, there can be numerous examples related with the best practice, right from the plastic, ban of plastic, to usage of your papers, waste management. Many things are there related with the best practices. If we are moving ahead with, even our Prime Minister also stated sometime before that for sustainable development, they should be focusing on many things: economy, system, infrastructure, demography, and demand. In this way, this best practice should be adopted by the institution for their own growth and for the society also. And this can be done with the help of this NSS and NCC. Just I'm sharing an example. There can be many others. Then institutional distinctiveness. How the institution is distinguished and different, at least in one area, compared to the other institutions that they have to explain in this particular key indicator. Okay. So this whole process, in brief, I will share with you. What is this? First is an IIQA, that is institutional information for quality assessment. For that to be eligible, any institution, it should, for the first cycle institution, they should have at least 2 batches or 6 years in existence. Then only they can apply for IIQA, institutional information for quality. And for the rest of the institution, they can, of course, move ahead with as soon as they feel that their validity period is going to expire. So during last 6 months of their validity period is going to expire, they should come for ANA process. So once they apply for IIQA, and after its acceptance, the institution has to submit the SSR, which has to be done within 45 days. That is in both quantitative and qualitative metrics that SSR is. And while SSR feeling, they have to give the details of the student satisfaction survey data also, that is in the form of email address and enrollment ID. Once this SSR is being filled, it can be uploaded. And once it is uploaded, that this DVA process and the student satisfaction survey gets initiated automatically. The DVA process, data validation verification process, here it is being sent. This quantitative matrix of this SSR is automatically sent to the DVA partners, where they assess the matrix as per the standard operating procedure provided by the NAC. And then student satisfaction survey also gets initiated, that I have already shared with you. After the DVA process, the institution has to score at least 25% on that quantitative metric, that is in the form of, if they want to proceed with this pre-qualifier. This is a pre-qualifier. This is the second filter. First filter is IIQA, second filter is pre-qualifier. Once they clear this pre-qualifier, if they score the 25% on this quantitative metric, then they can go for peer team visit. Okay. And but those institutions which fail, for them they have to apply again. But we have come out with some, I think so, some rules for them. They cannot simply come out again. They have to come out after 6 months or 1 year, because they have taken the things casually. Okay, but believe me, friends, it's very easy for any sort of average good ethical institution to score in this pre-qualification. So once this pre-qualification concept is being clear, the institution can go for peer team visit, and then only the institution will have a grade. And this grade is the combination of qualitative metrics and quantitative metrics. Yes, and the student satisfaction survey is also part of quantitative metrics. So this QLM and QNM combined scores give a grade. For registration for process, the institution, one very important thing is for the institution who are going for a first cycle for the first time, it is essential when they go for a registration, they should give the email address of the institution, not a personal email ID. Yes, sometimes the people do it, but what happens, because the institution remains same, the principal, so it will stay for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, then he will go, some other person will come. If he gives his personal email ID, what will happen? The communication, the correspondence will go to his personal email ID rather than the institution, and that you can understand there can be an issue. So there should be an institutional email ID. Okay. Then IIQA, just I was sharing with you, institutional information for quality assessment. For eligibility, the institution has to be at least 6 years in existence or 2 batches for the first cycle one. For second, third, fourth cycle, they can come. Now, requirement are very simple. SI certificate is essential, recent valor, because it is compulsory from the MHRD that every year every institution of the country should proceed with the ISHA. So we are asking the recent ISHA certificate. Then university affiliation letter, that also a current academic year is related. Undertaking self-declaration, generally this is being given in the institutional letterpad. That also we are asking that they have to mention the details about the courses in the program what they have been given. Then online payment of 29,500. Then SRA certificate, statutory regulatory authority certificate. If the institution is having, for example, some professional course like engineering, law, medical, likewise, so accordingly they have to give the related certificate, for example, from AICT, PCI, BCI, etc. The website should be functional. RTI link should be functional. MOUs, if it is there, then recent MOUs should be there. That is working MOU should be there. It should not be something, and also it should be an academic related MOU. It should not be something non-academic, because one institution has given an MOU related details. MOU with plumber, MOU with electrician, MOU with planner, like this here, all non-academic. So that's MOU is of no use. The MOU should be an academic MOU. That is also working one. Then AQAR. Those institutions who are moving with the second, third, fourth cycle, they have to give the AQAR of for this 4 years. If they are moving with second, third, fourth cycle, means last 5 years, 4 years AQAR, they have to give it. Then 2F and 12B, if it is there, then only. Otherwise, if it is not there, no need of. Agar hai, so then they have to give the recent grant received if it is 12B also. Okay. Then IIQA. Once IIQA is accepted, so what the image shows, if it is accepted, it's very good. If it is not accepted, unfortunately, because of some reason, because sometimes it happens, some university affiliation letter, if it is not there, because some bureaucratic hurdle, they don't get it immediately, because we give 15 days time period. In between this 15 days time period, if some institution has not submitted the recent, for example, recent university affiliation letter, current year academic affiliation letter, so in that case, query goes in portal itself, because now no telephonic call, no letter, nothing, all through portal interaction. The institution also has a portal, the Naac coordinator also, officer also has a portal. Through that, his portal itself, he will send a query that your university affiliation letter is not a current year letter, please provide a current year one. So within 15 days, you have to provide. If it is not possible, then your case gets rejected, institution IIQA gets rejected, but we have provided them a facility that they can come within same year at least 2 times with the same fees. No need of paying additional fees. This is the facility we have provided. So after acceptance, I have already shared within 45 days, the institution has to upload or submit the SSR, which is basically in this format: profile of the institution, extended profile, SSR, executive summary, like this. Okay. Now, one example I would like to give here related to the quantitative metrics, how it looks like. See, there are certain benchmarks for the quantitative metrics. Okay, and it is not disclosed basically, but it's very easy for the institution to judge it. How they can judge it? Example ke taur pe, percentage of student undertaking field visit. If the question is being asked to you, then maximum of you people will say, oh, yes, of course, there should be 100% of the students should go for field visit and internship. So accordingly, you can assume the benchmark might be. If for 0, for 4, it might be more than 80 most probably. For 3, it might be 80 to 60. For 2, it might be 60 to 40. For 1, it might be 40 to 20. And usko to 0 ही मिलना चाहिए जिसका 20 से भी कम. I mean, because it's an essential part that the students should go for field visit, internship and all that for their own practical exposure. In this way, the benchmark of that matrix can be judged by the institution in case of quantitative matrix. This image is intentionally shared because some institution have that drawback that even though there is lots of facility, but they don't utilize it properly. So it is like that. Many times life is like this picture. You have the resources, but you make poor decision. So you have to be very careful because we have the infrastructure, we have to utilize it properly. Now this QN of SSR is being shared, sent to DVV process and simultaneously student satisfaction will also proceed. That I have already shared with you. Okay, so DVV process may what happens? 25% they have to score. Once it is scored, once it is passed with the 25% quantity metric, they will go for PRT visit. If it fails, they have to apply again. Okay. Now regarding DVV, in a nutshell, I will share, it is essential that they have to give the data as per the standard operating procedure. And once the DVV starts, it has to be, they have to see, the institution has to see, they have to keep on checking their portal frequently. Yes, this is very important. Once the DVV gets started, the institution has to keep the portal checking because their a query can be raised by the DVV partner and that has to be responded within 15 days like that. If it doesn't get the response, then it is non-responsive case करके ऐसा समझा जाता है and automatically the score whatever the DBV decides, the institution gets it. So it is essential that they should respond properly. Then there should be English translated version for all the documents in addition to the regional language if they are giving. Okay, then I have already shared the file size should, if it is exceeding more than 5 MB, they have to give a certain link into their website. That particular data and documentation should be put in their own website. The link should be given in that Excel sheet for the DV partner to see. So all this detail you will find in our Naac's website also. Now, yeah, standard operating procedure I have already shared. Peer team visit के बारे में थोड़ा सा I will tell you in the next 5 minutes. Peer team visit is previously this whole peer team visit was being managed by Naac. Whole peer team visit was being managed by institution itself, means the honorarium, their ticket booking and all that. Now Naac is managing all these things. The institution has to pay simply 1,77,000 including GST, and Naac books their air ticket. All headache is now related to the Naac. Honorarium also. We have requested the institution of a notification, the website, that they should not even give a bouquet also. Not even a bouquet. Only that because if the 2 days visit is there, the 2-time lunch should be there, and rest of all the breakfast and dinner arrangements because Naac pays to the peer team people for all this thing. So that is all because there should not be any sort of obligation and favoritism. So certain rules are there. Only before 3 days. Naac shares the names of the peer team people to the institution in order to help them. Why? Because when they visit the institution, say for example, somebody is coming from the flight, so they have to pick them and put it them to keep it for them to in the place of the stay. Where say the hotel is booked by the Naac, they have to stay there, and from them then they have to pick them for the institution when the peer team visit. That is the next day. So for all this, we have some rules and regulations that is very much disclosed and displayed in our website, and everybody knows now. So it is mandatory for the institution to display everything into their website. Yes, right from IIQA to AQAR to SSR. Once the DV process happens, then only, and all this, even the certificate that they received from the Naac after the accreditation, all they have to display it on their website for the institution knowledge and for the stakeholders to know detail about the institution. Now, this is the facility which we have provided to the institution, who registered institution, not everybody. Means they have to, if they have any issues related to the ANA process, simply they have to log into the portal and they have to come out with this tab, support help desk, and there they have to put the query from the Naac, one or the other officer will respond. Right from the top to bottom, everybody is responsible for this issue management system because as per their expertise, the issue goes to them and they have to respond. Yes, it's working so nicely, and the response is within 1 day or in maximum 7 days if it is escalated to some other officer for any other reason. So it's so working so fast, so effectively that the institutions are immensely being benefited, and so many of the queries are being solved for the institution. It's working so smoothly, and massive way we are moving ahead with the awareness program because of our director's initiative. Now, friends, this is an opportunity, is like a biscuit in deep, a little delay is gone. Yes, this is the process. Naac's process is like that. Only the people who take it seriously do gain. The people who take it casually do suffer. For example, I will share with you. These are the recent figures of the standing committee figures are there. Means result declared in this revised accreditation framework are up to February 15, 1,523 number of accreditations grade has been given to the institution. Okay. Out of this 1,523, you can see how many institutions has got more than A grade. 132 plus 68 plus 13 means this. If you total it, it is almost 200. I think so. 230 most probably. So only 213 number of institutions more than A grade means only 213 number of institutions out of 1523 has got more than A grade. So it remains a tough one. But for those, we have seen many of the institutions who are in rural area also got as A plus and double plus. They have scored it. Means because they were having that enough of stuff with them. So the institution who have, because this is all related with the data and documentation, the enough of stuff they have really worked from last 5 years. Yes, many of the institutions do. ऐसा नहीं करते, the people do it, but the documentation problem is the documentation part seems to be missing. So it is essential for that documentation part should be kept very nicely if they want to score. So this is a lesson which you can take it home. So friends, every staff member, whether it is teaching or non-teaching, should be involved in quality upgradation. Then only they can move ahead and climb for with this quality parameter in the future. And so what this last slide is related with what I have shared with you. For green forest, what is written there, see the end. For green forest, every tree has to be. Similarly, for quality-oriented institution, it is essential that each and every individual of that institution, specifically teachers, should be quality-oriented. Should have that passion to come out with the quality upgradation. Should have a passion to do something new and different, which can develop themselves also and to the institution. And one more important line, sir, friends, without institution an individual cannot grow. Yes, without institution an individual cannot grow. So an individual has to think first an institution and then about himself. Then only there can be miracle. Then only there can be a big difference. And one last line I would like to share, then I will end it. And this is so important, friends. If you keep doing what you are doing, you will keep getting what you are getting. If you want to get the results you have never got before, then you have to do the things you have never done before. So friends, focus on one thing and water it. You will definitely get it. So thank you. Thanks very much for your patience listening. I thank Vaishali Pradhan Madam for her quite presence and providing an opportunity to share with lots of thousands of stakeholders who might be listening. It's a very good and very famous institution. I'm proud to be associated and to be part of this webinar. Thanks for patience listening for all you participants. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for such informative session. It has made clear the process of Naac accreditation along with its importance. Thank you, sir. I would like to request Professor Sachin Deshmukh, sir, to deliver chair address and guide us. Honorable Professor Sachin Deshmukh, sir.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. It was a very nice presentation. But before I start my talk, मी सर्वप्रथम भारतरत्न डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर यांच्या पावन स्मृतीस अभिवादन करतो. I am always very happy to visit Millen College because this is an institution created by Bharat Ratna Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar. Not only that, he stayed in over there, and I always love to visit the place where he stayed. So I may request Vaishali ma'am that I'll sometime come and again I'll go
You are
there.
most welcome. You both can come anytime. We are happy to
Yes,
welcome you.
yes, ma'am. Thank you,
Devendra
thank
Kaude
you.
sir can come, Sachin Deshmukh sir can come. You are most
Yes,
welcome. Please.
thank you, ma'am. Uh, Dr. Vaishali Pradhan ma'am, Principal of Millen College. Devendraji Kaude, Dr. Devendraji Kaude, Deputy Advisor Naac, Dr. Shankar Gaikwad sir, who was just behind me to come for this one, and who has given very nice introduction of mine. Thank you, sir. The other faculty members of the college and the participants. It was very nice presentation by Dr. Devendraji Kaude, a man who has given all insight of the Naac process with all statistics, all key points to be taken care of, as well as very nice aesthetics in his presentation. I think it is very difficult for me to talk anything in front, I mean, after his very nice talk. But Vaishali Pradhan ma'am has made my job a bit simple. He made me a chairman of a session, so I'll have to just brief out what Devendraji has done and some of the points that, because Devendraji is from the administrator side of Naac and I am from the stakeholder of Naac. So what are the issues and how we are managing? So one or two slides I just put in over here, and I'll try to cover it in half an hour as Pradhan ma'am said, because this is lunch time and I must take care of all her instructions. So I'll just share the screen of mine. Just one sec. So is the screen visible?
Yes.
I'll just play this. So the overview, first of all, I'll take. It's a hardly 10 slides presentation for me, and I'll talk for half an hour. This is all what Devendraji already had actually explained very well. The accreditation they started in something July 2017, and it represents an explicit paradigm shift, making it ICT enabled, objective, transparent, and scalable and robust. The important phases, as he mentioned in his presentation, they are IIQA. That first of all, you have to start with this one. Then data validation and verification. Then later on, along with it goes the student satisfaction survey and then peer team visit. So these are the important steps actually. That's what we can see from this one. So this new accreditation framework, what exactly it has? It has a qualitative peer judgment, to data-based quantitative indicator evaluation with increased objectivity and transparency. Earlier, the team used to come and whole accreditation process was what exactly they see, what we will tell them, and accordingly, it was all subjective sort of thing. Now, the shift is from that sort of accreditation process to a qualitative peer judgment, and then that depends on the data, basically. Then it's a towards extensive use of ICT, confirming scalability and robustness. So maximum of ICT we are using, as Devendraji already has explained it well. Then simplification of process, drastic reduction in number of questions or the criteria, and not criteria, 7 criteria they are there, key points they are there. And then size of report and number of visit days. So this is what is a shift from what earlier Naac has to used to do and what exactly Naac is doing right now. Then introduce with system generated scores. All are system generated scores, DVV, SSS and all. So so many other people, they are the peers are there who involved in deciding a score of your own institution. And then it is then stakeholders like student, teacher, parents, alumni, employees, they all give you the feedback, and student satisfaction survey also is done. Here I just would like to have a comment on student satisfaction survey and all. See, the shift in education is from earlier systems to student oriented system now. Whether you go to Naac or maybe UGC or AICT or NBA, wherever we go, now we are going for we are going to be student oriented than as compared with the earlier system. Here in Naac also, if we see, there are so many key points where we are going for student satisfaction survey, we are asking for the student placement, we are asking for the feedback system, then how we are targeting the slow learners and fast learners, and even the object oriented system that curriculum, that what exactly we are designing. And there also we are finding out how student is getting it, whether he is getting it, whether to have a 1 hour lecture or to have 15-minute lecture, what is the psychology of a student, how much time he can be online, and what is a blended learning, and what is on, and all. So everything is now in these days is going student oriented. So Naac has also considered all these aspects, and accordingly its marking scheme also, I think it is based on the student and its satisfaction and its placement, feedback, and how you address the issues of the students. So this is what is a bigger shift this new accreditation framework has brought into us. Now, next, as Devendraji already has explained, it's a data validation, verification, and pre-qualifier scores. So what he explained is that the data we are submitting SSR will be subjected to the online assessment mechanism. Likewise, publication, if they are there, we don't know which company they are sending, which peer they are sending. They have got third-party assessment of so many of the factors who are deciding factors of NAAC score. And from there they are getting a data, and so many of these particular things. So many third-party agencies are also involved. Even NAAC people don't know, we also don't know what scare we are going to get. It all depends on what exactly we did, how we performed in last 5 years. Then institutional securing 30% on quantitative metrics will qualify for on-site peer review assessment. So peer review assessment, on-site assessment has given the lowest, lower part than it was earlier 100% part. So peer team used to come and it used to evaluate you, and 100% of marking system was on in the hand of that particular peer team. Now 70% is part already taken over, 30% is actually in the hand of your peer team. Now here, what I wish to tell you is that I also visited some of the companies, that if NAAC finds something, some issue in the peer team judgment as well as online judgment, that is quantitative and qualitative assessment, in that particular case, NAAC nowadays is sending again a revisit is actually conducted for that particular institution to verify why this particular discrepancy in quantitative and qualitative metric it is there. So it's not the case that whatever the marks they are there online and maybe with the peer team, so they will be actually match, and many of the institutions have gone for the revisits and all. So NAAC actually has managed all this process very nicely, I think. So the particulars of this they have published on their website. Actually, I put it over here on my in my slides. I'll share it with you, ma'am, and that you can go and see. So all this process is very well documented, It is very easy to understand. It is self-explanatory. So this DVV process is actually taken over there. Then student satisfaction survey, as Devendraji already has explained, that this is very important, and how the quantitative things that can be managed with in SSS. That is, it is conducted concurrent to DVV. These two processes will run simultaneously. Score obtained in SSS will be a part of overall CGPA. HEIs are required to provide student details, as what he said, 50%, 100% earlier was there, then it was 50%, and accordingly. Then NAAC randomly selects the students for the survey. Then responses from 10%, and he also added one part, that is 100, either 10% or 100, that is response from 10% of enrolled students qualifies for scoring onto the metrics. So all the particulars, they are also available on NAAC website, wherein what type of database of the student you have to provide to the Naac. It's a name, program name, UID details, and most important are the email IDs and mobile number, as what he explained. And HCI can organize awareness sessions, SSS response trainings, and for the students from rural background, and also some pamphlets actually he shared with us that can also be circulated to our students. Then PTV is that peer team visit. Peer team will be consisting of 3 members for college or 6 for the universities. And the focus of the peer team visit will be on qualitative metrics, QIM only. And Naac discloses the detail of the peer team members only 3 days before the visit. This is what is the I think is the best part that Naac has done. Everything is online, and the name of the peer team is disclosed to the colleges before 3 days of their visit only, so that no other much communication can happen. Then Naac takes care of all logistic, as he explained, TADA, honorarium, and all. Everything, your hotel booking of a peer team, and then the transport by air. Only thing is that from airport to hotel, college has to the college has to arrange all that particular logistic. So this is how the peer team is managed. He well explained that. Then the particular advice actually is also given by Naac and to the peer team also, to the institution also, okay, what is going to happen. So that is also available on Naac. Now, apart from this, he has covered so many things. This component and concepts of Naac process focus on quality, institutional, and on the quality, like institutional accreditation or the course accreditation, like what NBA is conducting. Then outline of RAF process he actually covered. Then QLM and QIM, as we said. Then very well he explained there are 22 input indicators, 44 process one and 30 output one. So 30 plus 22 is 52 plus 44, 96 around total metrics we have got, and depending on input and output and in between process. So this is what is a schema for all processing, that you give input, some process will be there and output will be there. So depending on that, they all divided all these 96 matrix. And so many other things actually he explained, like the weightages of RIF on SSS, innovation ecosystem, alumni engagement, institutional values, and best practices. So everything he covered in his talk. Just I wanted to go talk with you why we should go for Naac, because I think this is all the basics related to Naac, and what I feel that why shall we go for Naac. So to know ourselves, we should go to Naac to know ourselves. What are our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and challenges? Whenever we want to grow higher, we should know what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses, what are our opportunities, and what are our challenges. So whatever the weaknesses, that's what we are having, we have to convert later on it to the opportunities. Challenges also has to be converted into opportunities, and opportunities has to be converted into the strength. This is what is the process in general it is followed. But who? The third party has to assess us. Unless and until third party assesses us, we will not come ourselves that what exactly all these particular things they are there. Maybe sometimes it happens, what may be our strength, that's what we are considering, it may be an opportunity, or what may be the weakness, what we are considering, it may be our strength. So third party assessment for knowing ourselves, assessing ourselves is always good, so that all these SOC analysis, in short we call it as a SOC analysis, strength, weakness, opportunities, and challenges analysis. So this is what we have to look into, and third party has to assess to chalk out our action plans. So we have to analyze the result of this of the NAAC assessment and take the corrective measures on this one. So this all will be based on all this SOC analysis, I feel. Now, how to prepare, what shall we do to go with this one? So in general, the way that I adopted is that even the university also has got, and every college may be having, is a 1 year action plan we have to prepare. What exactly is our action plan? But before that, 5-year institutional development plan we have to have. So if we have got a 5-year institutional development plan with us, then we can design 1-year action plan. We have to complete all the goals that we are deciding in 1 year in the action plan, and then move for the next development plan details. So with this, we can achieve very well the Naac accreditation. We can go very well for Naac accreditation process. If we see the new education policy, which is draft, all these factors are very, very important for this one. Maybe next 2 slides, I'll be a bit talking regarding the new education policy and the importance of it, and how this all these higher education apex bodies are correlating in all this particular development of education, that I can definitely tell you. Then what we have to be ready with, what are the issues, as Devendra ji already has explained, that we need to have a well documentation. We need to have a well documentation. What sort of documentation we need? Say the number of papers, research papers, many times we do not have it documented, and we do not have a list of the papers that are published by the faculty members or the students from our college. Maybe if we have got a particular paper, maybe the citation index, it may not be available, or maybe the other factors related to that paper and what Naac is accessing, that they may not be over there. So it is very easy to manage all this documentation using document management system. If you have got a computer department, they can actually design a document management system. But if you do not have this particular one, so depending on the criteria, you can have separate files created for every indicator in the criteria, and depending on that, all the documentation you have to have it over here. Now what I'll just here I would like to tell is that the AQAR yearly we are submitting it to Naac. Now Naac has made it all online. Online AQAR submission is there. Earlier we used to type an AQAR, put some details in the AQAR and submit it to Naac. Now what exactly they are doing? They want everything online. When we are putting online, some list actually they wanted, and every detail they are actually asking in the AQAR. But what I will suggest at this particular moment, that as it is getting online, we have to have a documentation created for every AQAR than putting only the information. Because if we collect all 5 years of AQAR and allied documentation, in that particular case, our SSR writing process will be very easy. What we are doing, maybe last year they started with all this online sort of thing in AQAR. So now last AQAR, actually the 18-19 AQAR, whatever we filled, we have collected all the documents from all faculty, all the departments. We scanned it and we are putting it onto the website, whichever are not even by asked, not even asked by Naac, or whether it is asked by Naac or no. So we are putting it on our websites for our reference, and that is that is also will be available to us for all 5 years. So whenever we will be in the process of writing an SSR, all the documentation, maximum of the documentation will be available to us. I don't know what is the policy of Naac, but what I feel is that earlier also the AQARs were made available to the peer team. Now the AQAR with all documentation, all the detail is available with Naac. I don't know whether Naac will have a policy maybe later that collect all 5 years AQAR and find out whatever the information is actually filled by the institution in this 5 AQAR and match it with what is in SSR. Maybe if it is a difference between 10-15%, there is no issue. But if it is there, I don't know. Naac may think of this particular policy later. So we have to be again very much careful about filling our AQAR. So I suggest here the documentation process you start from the point whenever you are writing your AQAR. Now in general, every of the institution, we actually experience a delay in data collection. So if you have got the document management system with you, definitely this delay will be reduced. Many times it happens, the faculty members in the institution, actually they are reluctant to give the information with one excuse is that and that is correct also, that the same information is asked from the faculty members every time. So now if we are having a computerized system related to that one, the name of the faculty, the date of birth, and whatever it is, in that particular case, the data which repeatedly we are asking from the faculty members or maybe some departments, that can be reduced. So many things that can be taken care of this particular system, or even in the file system, that's what we are creating. So management of the documentation is again very important. Now, some of other suggestive measures that I feel they are important for the institutions, they are institutionalizing the active accuracy, and Devendraji actually put this particular point in his presentation also. Building an organizational methodology of documentation and internal communication. So this is second point. Then setting up criteria-wise action plan. We have created one committee where the chairman for every criteria we have appointed, and with that chairman of that particular criteria, other faculty members are also there. So he takes a meeting of the other faculty, his whole committee, criteria wise committee, they take the committee meetings, and whether we are actually submitting or writing criteria, this AQAR or SSR, wherever. So all these criteria heads will gather together and have a discussion and finalize particular thing. So this way, actually, we are managing it in university. So we have created a criteria-wise action plan, and criteria committee is actually monitoring that particular action plan, and accordingly we are going. Then effective implementation of feedback mechanism we have to do, definitely. Then development and maintenance of institutional MIS is very important, as what I said. So many factors they are there, much of a data what exactly we need, and that can be very easily collected from MIS. Then periodic conduct of academic and administrative audit. So that is also one of the part Naac is looking, I think, and so that's why this is also needed. And then the timely preparation of data and routine submission of AQR now has become very important, because Naac is giving you the deadline even to submit the AQAR. Before this particular date, you have to submit the AQAR, and all this data is on the system, as I already said. So it is very easy for them to cross check whenever you are submitting the AQR. It's not a manual system. Now it's an online system, and the format of AQAR, online format for AQAR, whatever Naac has designed, that is also superb. So this cross verification process will be very easy for them maybe later. So I think this is a caution from my side, that we have to be very careful while filling AQAR. Now, just why this accreditation process is important, even new education policy comes, what are the benefits, that I just wanted to put in front of you. If you see, this is okay, India is moving toward becoming an greatest economy and through knowledge society something, but this part, the second part is very important, where we say that the increased employability will be there, because more for skill jobs will be in demand. More for skill jobs will be in demand, and multidisciplinary nature of this particular jobs will be in demand, and education system has to be ready to cater the increase here with the proper support. These are what the this may be the last one side slide of mine. So 5-6 points that actually briefs out you the new education policy of India. See, it is very even difficult for any of the apex body to manage all 40,000 institutions. We have got in India around 40,000 different institutions, more than 40,000 institutions, with more than 800 different universities. Now, what exactly is targeted, will be targeted in new education policy to convert it into 50,000? As Devendraji has well mentioned, that if there are 40,000 different higher education institution, and if every of this institution is applying for the Naac, then how NAC is going to cater that particular need. And that's why they came up with these two parts, that is qualitative and quantitative metrics. So I think it has become a bit easy for the NAC even to get all data online, analyze the college and send the peer team. Not only that, all these 40,000 institutions, they are now categorizing as what he said. Maybe for the medical, they have got some different framework, some changes in the framework. Maybe they will be having some different framework for other colleges also. And gradually, they are going for the specialization in all these 40,000 institutions. If new education policy is sanctioned, it comes and it is enforced. In that particular case, they propose to convert these 40,000 institution into 50,000 large, well-resourced, vibrant, multidisciplinary institution. That is what is actually a focus. If it happens, then we will have to have the cluster colleges and all and all. At the same time, what exactly they are doing, this is very important issue that I wanted to put forth in put in front of you, is that all higher education institution, they are going to consolidate into three types of institution. First will be research university, second is a teaching university, and third is a autonomous degree granting colleges. I don't know whether this policy will be enforced or not, but if it is enforced, in that particular case, here is no concept of affiliated college. All the colleges will be autonomous degree granting colleges. Now, if you see the UGC things, what UGC is expecting is that for getting an autonomy of a college, you need to have a NAC accreditation, and that you should be accredited with A grade. So if you are A grade accredited, you can go for autonomy. UGC will send a committee and the process will be followed and something like that. Even the colleges which are not 2F and 12B, they also have a condition that the colleges should have NAC accreditation. They don't say that it should be A or B or whatever, but they say that it should be a NAC accredited college. So even that as a requirement for 2F and 12B, you need to get the NAC accreditation. So if you see whatever the government, whatever the higher education apex bodies are planning in the future, again, you will come to this particular point that this accreditation is very important. Let me tell you that maximum of medical universities are applying for NAC accreditation. So many of the institutions, so many of the private universities are going for NAC accreditation because everybody knows that accreditation is going to face so many other things. Not only this one. Let me tell you, let me caution you that the RUSA sort of projects, maybe DST sort of projects, and funding from UGC sort of agencies, that also will be depending on your NAC accreditation. So all these factors, they are there, which actually tell you that you go for NAC for your development. So NAC sort of accreditation is very important, and for the higher education institution like us, NAC is the only accrediting agency. Then other things are all right. Just I wanted to focus on this particular point, that is Mission Nalanda and Mission Takshashila launched to catalyze new architecture. I just wanted to discuss on what is Mission Nalanda and Mission Takshashila. Whatever in the discussion I came, I had with this particular people, this Mission Nalanda and Mission Takshashila is launched to have the multidisciplinary type of research work and education. These were the universities which were renowned in whole world, and they had students, international students also that time. And what type of work they used to do, what type of academic activities they used to do, what type of research they used to do. If you see over there, you can find it out that all were multidisciplinary activities. It is not a case that the student in engineering, he wants to go for history, some subjects in history. Now it is not possible. A person studying arts may have some ideas and he wanted to opt for some science courses, then it should be possible. So all that sort of things, it was available there, and that's why that time India was having a good scientific research. what we can see from the literature that is available to us. So this way is what actually the government is planning to go forward if this particular draft is approved. Then substantial public investment actually government is planning to have in the education. So this is how the new draft actually, if it is approved, then it will come into the force and will require everything which is depending on the quality and the quality accreditation. And for us, Naac is the agency which is catering our needs of getting accredited. I think I'll stop at this particular slide. Thanking you all. Thank you, ma'am, for inviting me for this particular session. Even I was also enlightened with the talk of Devendra Kaudeji. It was very nice talk. Thank you very much, ma'am. Again, I thank you because you called me in the institution where I always wants to come. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, sir. Welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for such enlightening session. I am sure all participants must have understood how to go for accreditation and how to achieve good grade. Thank you, sir. There is one question for Dr. Devendra Kaude, sir. And the question is, can we consider the rainwater harvesting and solar system as best practice? And kindly tell us more about best practices.
Say hello. Can you hear?
Yes, sir.
The best practice is a very big subject, and this rainwater harvesting and solar panel, this is already related with that key indicator. In that first we have already asked, so no need of mentioning there. You have to explain in that 4 key indicator related to gender equity, environment, caution, sustainability, human values and profit. There you have to mention in that environment, caution, sustainability. There already this metric is being asked, so you cannot include in the best practice. Now, what is best practice? I have already shared. Best practice is something related to the sustainable development, which you can, example ke taur pe, I will tell you. You know, there are so many temples in our country where you will find that so much of flowers which is being worshipped to the god is being wasted, or that particular flower which comes in quintals when it is being thrown out or something, that can be utilized for some purpose. That also can be a part of best practice. Some industry, small scale, something can be through with the help of your student. Then another one is, example ke taur pe is pen. For example, if this pen, if we are using as a best practice, how we can preach our students. One pen is there of 2 rupees, for example, that is use and throw. So what are we doing it? We are wasting our natural resources when we use and throw. So better way, we should come out with a trend in our institution that we should use the pen, and that can be again and again used. For example, in our childhood, I think so Vaishali madam will definitely agree with my consultant Sachin sir also. When in our school days, we used to have one pen, and the same pen we used to use for 5 years, 10 years, many of the time, because simple refill change or ink change like that. This is essential. This is the need of the hour. We have a limited natural resources with us. The resources should be properly utilized, and that can be the part of best practice. And there can be n number. One institution I visited before the lockdown in Tamil Nadu, there I found that instead of giving that flower bouquet, generally we should also avoid that giving flower bouquet. Instead of giving flower bouquet, and give some books or something which is useful. Okay, flower bouquet is wasted. So I found that institution has given the flower bouquet made of handkerchief. Very beautiful flower bouquet. What I did with that flower bouquet, all handkerchief I took out and it's being used. It can be, you can give it to anybody, something like that. When you go with this trend from the college, from the institution, automatically that will become a trend. Okay, so there are n number of uses related with the best practices. I think so. If we go with the process, again I repeating same thing. The students do watch us. Whatever we do, they watch us and they try to implement the same in their house, in their society. So please proceed with n number of, I think you can proceed with 1 or 2 hour best practices lectures separately. This is so big topic. Okay, and good experienced people like your Vaishali madam, your Sachin sir, and so many other good, intelligent and seasoned academician might be here. They can talk a lot about this best practice. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir, for answering the query of the participant. All the participants are informed to submit the feedback form. Feedback form link will be posted on WhatsApp and Telegram group as the webinar will be over. I make an appeal to all participants to submit research paper in our upcoming research journal. Themes and details of it are available on both WhatsApp and Telegram groups. Now, I request to Dr. F.S. Pathan sir to propose vote of thanks. Dr. Pathan sir.
No, Pathan is out, I think, because of some technicality. So you can request Professor Gauri to do the honors.
Okay, madam. And I request to Dr. Gauri sir to propose vote of thanks. Dr. Gauri sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. One more opportunity for me to give thanks to our honorable guest, Dr. Devendra Kaude, sir. Sir, thank you very much indeed for being with us for so long and giving us in detail the information of Naac assessment and accreditation. Thank you very much indeed, sir. Again, we have with us the Honorable Dr. Sachin Deshmukh, sir, who has really enlightened us on the subject of Naac. Thank you very much indeed, sir. I also thank Vaishali Pradhan, madam, for being the source behind every webinar and guiding us for so many purposes. I also thank every participants who participated and participated in the webinar. I also thank everyone who has supported to make this webinar a grand success. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you
thank
all.
you.
Jai Bhim.
Okay,